And we're back. The quarantine show was this part 4, right?
Yep.
Part 4. We are here. It is Crowler Saturday. Rob and I both got a couple crowlers on tap for today. Actually, it's Chicago Crowler Saturday. It's
Sure.
gonna be a fun show. Got two house favorites on the show today, so it's gonna be a good one. Rob, how you been, man?
I'm good, man. I'm excited for this. This is like new stuff for us. I mean, really, really new stuff. It's going to be a good show.
Oh yeah, I very, very much agreed. Before we jump into it, let's do the usual. Where can people find us, contact us, all that good stuff?
Absolutely. Download Untapped if you haven't already. Follow the Dub Beer Bros. Email us, dubbeerbros@gmail. Tell us how much we suck. Tell us how much you love us. Give us suggestions, whatever. Listen to the past podcast episodes on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Anchor. Twitter @dubbeerbros1. Instagram dubbeerbrospod. And then like and follow our page on Facebook. That's where we're going to post the links to YouTube. Also check out our past YouTube videos as well. Check out the other three.
Check out the quarantine series. Give us a subscribe. Once we're able to leave our houses, there will be a lot more possibilities for YouTube. So yeah, it'll be a fun time. But let's jump into it here. We got a fun show. We're also going to do a little beer draft afterwards. You know, like we always like to do a little something after our beer reviews. So stick around for that. But Rob, let's introduce the players today. I'll show off what we got here first. So, like we said, it's Chicago Crowler Saturday. Revolution coming in clutch. It's another round of my curbside pickups. The Crowlers I got from them. I have their Jumpy Juice version 6, which is their ever-growing, ever-changing hazy IPA. And then I have their Working Man Mild, which is a English Luncheon. I don't know what that is, but we're going to find out together.
Sounds interesting.
Yeah.
I got some stuff from Goose. I made a trip out, curbside pickup from Goose Island. I got the recently famous Tiger King Hazy Pale Ale. Excited for this one. And then I also have one of the 312 DMC. So it came from like the 312 series of beers that they put out on 312 Day. It's supposedly got hints of coffee in it. Sounds right up my alley, like I said on our preview from the last show. So very excited.
Yeah, it's gonna be a fun one. Like I said, two house favorites, Revolution and Goose Island. So let's jump into it. I'm going first. We're gonna go. Excuse me. We're gonna go with Jumpy Juice first. Like I said, it is Jumpy Juice version 6. The cans, they're just their Crowler cans. Red, it says Revolution Crowler. Don't worry.
I love those cans.
It is really nice. I'm probably gonna keep the cans. They look gorgeous.
Yeah, because I feel like a lot of Crowler cans, they're usually kind of blank.
Yeah.
Like, sorry, no offense, Goose. Little bland.
Yeah. And like last week, it was just a can with a sticker on it. Yeah. It has their usual Revolution design of the fist, but still cool. This is 6.5% ABV, and a description here from their website. Jumpy Juice Crowler through our system will ask for. Oh, sorry, that was their shipping instructions. Their Jumpy Juice is our ever-evolving pub-brewed hazy IPA, changing with each iteration, and version 6 features dry hops of Strata, Amarillo, and Cryo Mosaic. So interesting mix of different aromas there. These things are always a little bit harder to open. It wasn't as solid as a crack as I usually get either.
You're a better cracker than that.
It's a little hard. Also, I got my special anti-hero glass.
Okay.
I got all sorts of these glasses, so it's time to use these. Seemed fitting. Also, I'm not doing a history of Revolution because we're going to be doing a show on Revolution at some point, so there's no point in going in a deep dive. Just know that they're my personal favorite brewery. They got 2 locations. Their main brewery on Kedzie, and then the main brewery's on Kedzie, and then the other is It doesn't matter. You can't go there anyway. Well, you can for curbside pickup, but whatever. I gotta let this settle for a little bit, but aroma definitely has that little bit of a hazy look. Sorry, it's gonna be a little hard to see because we only have that little slit. But if you see there, definitely a little bit darker, I would say, than normal haziers. I think they usually have a little bit more of a brighter look to it. But
Yeah, this one's kind of
little bit darker.
a little gloomy.
Yeah, a little bit more. It's slightly cloudy.
It's very opaque.
Very very opaque, but smell wise, it does smell pretty much like it kind of smells like a mix between their hazy hero and their anti-hero. Maybe just anti-hero glass is scented. Who knows? Yeah, I mean, the smell. It's your typical run of the mill, but hey, there's only one way to find out. Okay. So I would say that their hazy hero is certainly better, since it is kind of, I think they're more defined hazy beer. This one doesn't have as much of a tropical taste to it, I would say. It is more bitter, like an anti-hero or some of their other IPAs that they have.
It's more bitter?
Well, in relation to like a hazy hero.
Oh, okay. Okay.
It's not as bitter as an anti-hero or others, but
okay.
If you were looking on a spectrum, it would certainly go more towards that side of the spectrum than it would a normal hazy IPA. I mean, it's still solid. I mean, it's going to be hard to find a beer that I don't really like at Revolution. Now that I said that, I'm going to probably trash this other one, but tempted fate. That's what happens. I mean, it's solid. If you're more of a bitter fan like myself, you're probably going to enjoy this beer. I think. Trying to see. Let's see what other kind of like past iterations they've done that maybe. Yeah, so I think kind of more that they had more Citra hops than some of the other ones, so they clearly didn't have it in this round, but still solid. Not gonna totally dig them. What did I give Hazy Hero? Let's see if I can find that. Hazy Hero, I gave them a 3.72 for Hazy Hero. So I think if I'm grading it more on a hazy scale, I'm gonna have to grade it lower than that. But I mean, it's still a solid beer. I am going to drink the rest of this. It's only
overtime.
Overtime, baby.
Over the time, of course, or over the course of the day.
Oh yeah, I thought you meant whatever. So if I'm gonna give it a score, I'm gonna give it a 3.42. I think if you're expecting more of that hazy, tropical fruity taste, I think you're going to be disappointed. But if you're a fan of Revolution's other beers and a lot of their Hero series, I think you'll be a fan of this beer as well. Version 6, not bad. I'll have to keep a lookout for version 7 whenever it comes out. Food pairing, almost forgot, but don't worry, I didn't. Oh, and time of the year, I'd give this like a fall time of the year. I think if other hazies, it's usually spring and summer, but I think this is a better fall beer. It's going to keep you a little bit more warm. If you wanted to cook some brats and you had a crowler of this jumpy juice, 2 crowlers, one to drink, one to use the beer batter, I think it'd be good with some brats.
It looks like a brat beer.
Yeah, sitting at a tailgate you can't tailgate at a Cubs game. You're sitting at a tailgate at the White Sox game or something. Late in September, October if they make the playoffs, or if you're at a football tailgate. I think this is a good beer to have during that time, and as well as cook up some brats with it, batter the brats in it. I think this would be a good mix.
Awesome.
Right on to you.
It is on to me. We are doing Tiger King.
Carol Baskins.
So, little fun fact while I crack open the can that I found on Goose's website. They are doing something called, wow, these are hard to crack open.
See, you made fun of me, and now you're not going to be able to open your beer, and you're going to work with it.
Okay, we got it. Anyways, little fun fact. So Goose Island sues something called the Chicago Care Package for hospitality workers, nurses, anyone working at like maybe a senior home. So it's includes pizza, salad, and a six pack of beer of your choice from Goose. You can find this link on their website. Just go to, I think it's under events. Go there. There's plenty of locations you can go to. It's all discounted there for a certain price. But I thought that was really cool.
That is
Awesome to see all these.
Any place doing that right now, I think, is just very, very smart, very wise of them to do. Those people are out there saving lives and making sure that we're able to get through this. So, any way we can support them, it's awesome.
Absolutely. Right off the bat, this is very light.
Oh,
It's golden.
That is, yeah. It does not. Both of these have not really kept the normal hazy kind of opaqueness.
It's absolutely. I mean, you could see right through this thing too.
Yeah, that looks more like a pilsner or a lager than it does a hazy IPA.
It's very citrusy though. The smells.
Was it made with real tigers?
uh,
From the GW Zoo?
This was, this is what Joe Exotic, he was wearing some kind of cologne on his shoe. And this
It's sardine oil if you pour it in a basket if you want to kill someone.
So per the beer description on Goose Island's Untapped page, actually, I couldn't find this on their site, but it said it's a dry hop, Mosaic, and Simcoe. Oh, I'm sorry, dry hopped with Mosaic and Simcoe. Those are the type of hops. This beer is outspoken, good-looking, and loves to party and have fun, much like Joe Exotic.
Joe Exotic to me.
Smells very fresh. Was definitely expecting a little more haziness in the taste, but I mean, it's not a hazy IPA. It's a hazy pale ale. They even described it as like a New England pale ale. But it's like a lot of Goose's beers. It's very easy drinking right off the bat. You definitely get, I feel like a lot of the tastes are subtle though. It does kind of remind me more of a lager where it's just like that, your typical lager beer taste to it. Smells good though. It's very citrusy. I almost wanted to detect I taste like almost a little banana in it, but but also some pineapple in it as well. Very refreshing.
Got Dora this weekend?
What?
You got Dora this weekend? I can hear a dog barking.
I don't. Yeah, that's the dog downstairs.
Oh, I thought it was my dog for a second. I was like,
I think I'm a little disappointed. It's still a good beer, but I'm a little disappointed. I thought that I was going to get more of a hazy IPA type of taste to it. It doesn't have that dry, slight bitterness to it. It tastes more like a lager. Still tasty, but still refreshing. If I'm going food pairing, this is barbecue food, kind of similar to yours. I would feel like I think it would go well with a burger. You could drink a very heavy burger and pair it nicely with this because the beer is so light.
You're drinking the burger?
Yeah. Any kind of maybe some kind of heavy burger where they put either thick cuts of bacon on it, or sometimes you can get a burger with shredded pork on top of it. Anything like that. Anything that has even a lot of flavors in it, I think it would pair nicely with it just because it's so light. Time of year, it definitely feels like a summer beer, summer or spring. I mean, I hate to steal your point, but it's a tailgate beer. Uh,
It's
so
it's a summer tailgate beer. It's not a fall tailgate beer.
yeah, it's a summer tailgate beer. It's definitely a baseball beer. It's definitely a beer that you could be at a Buffalo Wild Wings or any like local bar that's your favorite. Maybe you're watching you know watching any baseball game on a Saturday afternoon. Hopefully that happens soon. But I think it would. I think it's perfect for that type of situation, time of year. So
And I don't know if you said what was the ABV on that. I think you said it was like what was it, like 4.8 or something like that.
yeah, it's going to be. I think it's 4.8.
So I mean, that's pretty easy drinking too.
Absolutely.
So you could definitely have a couple of those while you're watching the game and not get totally schnockered off of that.
Most definitely. It's crushable. It's definitely a crushable beer. If I'm going to rate it, like I said, I was slightly disappointed. I don't think the beer should be docked for that though. It's still a solid beer, but I am going to give it a 3.8. I'm sorry, 3.18.
Wow, I was about to say, man, you must have really had high expectations for it to still be a 3.8.
Yeah, 3.18.
3.18 for Joe Exotic, the Tiger King. All right, awesome. Very solid. Any last notes on Tiger King before we move on?
Have not watched the interview episode. I hear it kind of blows, but
Don't bother. If you're watching this and you haven't watched it yet, save yourself 40 minutes. The only interesting thing is what Rick Kirkham says about how Joe Exotic's afraid of tigers. But even then, you have to look at Rick Kirkham's disgusting bottom 4 teeth the whole time. So just don't bother. It's not good. Save yourself the time.
is he shirtless?
Was anyone shirtless? No, everyone was wearing a shirt. John Finley has teeth now, so
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
yeah. But I mean, other than that, there really isn't anything that's groundbreaking or
Nothing to write home about.
no. Save yourself 40 minutes. Don't watch it. Let's move on to our next beer. We have the Working Man Mild, once again in the Crowler can from Revolution. This is 3.6% ABV on this.
Okay.
Their description per the website, an English luncheon beer with toffee and caramel notes, low in alcohol, high in flavor. So it sounds like it's gonna be like a soda pop or something. I don't know, man. 3.6. It's nothing. Now that I say that, I'm gonna get hammered. Make sure you get that good pour in there. Yeah, definitely much darker than others. Ooh, smell it right off the bat. All right, so if we get a look at the color there, absolutely, like it does kind of look like a Coca-Cola in my glass right now, right?
Yeah, it does.
Like that is very dark.
It's an English ale. It looks like. I mean, it kind of looks like your Sam Adams Boston Lager.
A little bit, yeah. You could definitely get that caramel and toffee smell right off the bat. Very sweet. Actually, I think I'm very excited to kind of taste this. I really haven't seen many of these kind of beers from Revolution, up to be honest. So, yeah, smells very, very delightful. I think this is probably, honestly, gonna feel heavier than it is because I think it's just caramel and toffee are often heavier kind of tastes. So
Sure. I mean, even like Sam Adams, like Boston Lager, I feel like, yeah, I mean, it's still a lager, but it's a little heavy in taste and mouthfeel. So,
very interested to see. But like I say, there's only one way to find out. So
only one way to find out.
a little taste here.
Give it a little tasty taste. Maybe a second taste.
So I don't really get as much of the caramel taste. I do get more of that toffee taste when I drink this. But it's very solid. It is not as heavy, I would say, as I thought it was going to be. Very smooth, actually. goes down pretty easily. You're not totally. It kind of has actually a little bit more of an amber look from the top. You can't really see it from the top, but it has a little bit more of an amber look to it.
Looks like some good bubbles though.
Yeah, definitely foamed pretty well. If more of like a Boston lager, it's not really a lager per se, but I mean it's kind of rich in that toffee taste. So I mean, I'm trying to think of like a good kind of beer to compare it against, because I don't know if Boston Lager is really necessarily the one, but
Is it kind of creamy? I know some of those English ales can be a little creamy.
it's got a little bit of that creaminess to it. But it's actually. So I guess if you're a Guinness fan, I think you would actually. And Rob, I know you are. I'm not the biggest Guinness fan, but I think it does kind of. It would maybe lean a little bit more towards that way of kind of a Guinness kind of taste. You definitely get a little, it's toffee, that maltiness to it. And obviously it's pretty dark on the spectrum. So yeah, but I'm not the biggest fan of Guinness, but I do enjoy this beer. I'm trying to kind of pinpoint like a taste to it because
I want to try it though.
Drive over. I can give you a little. Can leave it on the front porch.
Yeah.
No, it's not bad. It's not bad. It's not like I probably, if I was going there, I probably wouldn't get a pint of it. But if I were doing a flight, maybe I'd get a little bit of that on the flight. But yeah, it's nice. It's pretty easy. Time of year, this is definitely a winter kind of beer. I feel like it's not it's not heavy by any means. It's not, but I think it still gives you that kind of warm feeling inside, which that sounds kind of weird now that I kind of hear it. Like, that warm and fuzzy feeling, but it does kind of give you that warmness.
It's what a winter beer should do. Oh.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean it's pretty tasty. The more you drink it, the more kind of flavor you get a little bit to it. So I think it takes a couple sips to really get the flavor to it. But
anything else you're picking up?
It's still kind of like, I don't really taste the caramel just yet. It's more the toffee, but I think like as your palate gets a little bit more adjusted to it, I think the taste just really, really pops for you. Gosh, Revolution, knocking it out of the park again, man. Let me tell you, just very good. I'm trying to think of a good food pairing with it. If we're eating in the winter time, it probably works with something that, it would work pretty well with like a kind of like a burger. If you're going to Kuma's Corner, you're going to Five Guys, or if you're out west, you're In-N-Outs or whatever. I think this would really go well with it. I think the flavor kind of goes well with a lot of stuff, I think. So yeah, I think if you're going to the burger and like you're kind of experimenting with it, you got like every kind of cheese, you got like tortilla strips, avocado. I don't know. People put crazy shit on burgers these days. I think it would really go well. Like anything you have on your burger, I think this actually really goes well with it, which is good. And again, drink it in the wintertime. I think excuse me. Very, very good, very tasty. One more sip in there before I score it. Gosh, I did not expect to like this as much as I did, to be honest. I thought I was going to be a little bit more hesitant to enjoy it, but I mean, you can call me a homer all you want, but Revolution, man, they know how to make good beer. Revolution, if you're watching, send as much free beer as you want. I'll drink it. I got tons in the fridge. I'm going to go with 3.37 on this. I did not expect to score it that high, but yeah, here we are. 3.37 for working man. That's very tasty. The more you drink it, the more tasty it is. And in fact, I'm going to pour myself a little bit more. Rob, on to you for the Goose Island 312 DMC.
Yes, so this is going to be interesting because Okay, that crack went a lot better than the original. I cracked that bad boy right away. The noise wasn't good though. It still wasn't a good crack, but it was a fast crack.
It's a fact.
Anyway. Anyways, yeah, 312 DMC, one of the 312 series, or part of the 312 series that they put out on 312 Day.
Like 9 beers.
What's that?
One of their 9 beers they put out.
Yeah. I want to try more. So, little fun fact while I pour this is that
That was a good sounding pour, I just got to say.
Huh?
That was a very good sounding pour, I just have to say.
I feel like they pour well out of these crawlers. It's got a good noise to it, good sound to it. Makes me want to drink a beer right away. Anyways, little fun fact. Goose Island is still doing like virtual activities, which I thought was really cool. So I know they're doing virtual beer yoga, which is pretty cool. I think good way to exercise inside the house, you know. The other one that caught my eye though is they're doing virtual trivia, and one of them is Marvel trivia. So I thought that was kind of cool. I think that's coming up like next week or something. Check that out on their website.
No, I have stuff to do next weekend. Just kidding.
So anyways, on to the beer description. This is from their Untapped page. It says, this is our original 312 that was recirculated on 2 different dark matter coffee beans, a mix of El Salvador Tuxpan natural coffee, and then Guatemala, I don't know how to say this word, Kviek. It's KVIEK, and then fermented Katnai. Not sure what that is, but still some Guatemalan coffee. I could always go
for
for that.
pronunciation things. I'm not the one to look for.
It says fruity and roasty notes showcase the coffee while a subtle nuttiness melds with the base 312 in the flavor. This is going to be interesting because I never would have thought coffee and 312. I didn't think that would really go together. Usually coffee goes well with dark beers, you know, not like light wheat beers. 312, obviously the main component besides the wheat, that weedy taste, is the lemon. And I feel like coffee and lemon, we'll see.
Sounds like a good mix.
Yeah.
That's a lot lighter than I thought it was going to be honest.
Yeah, me too. I think it is still slightly darker than your regular. What's that?
This is darker than that, and
that's
coffee, so I'm pretty surprised.
So I got to think that the coffee is very subtle. Otherwise, it would have had an impact on the color. I think it is slightly darker, though, than your regular 312, but it still doesn't lose that 312 profile color.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. That's a good smell. If I'm rating smells, that's like a 5 out of 5. That smells so good. The coffee hits you right away. You definitely pick up on the citrus and the lemon too as well. But I feel like it, for smell wise, it mixes well.
But I mean, it may smell good, but there's only one way to find out.
There's only one way to find out. Okay. Yeah, that's interesting. It's like so many different things hitting you at once. However, I feel like it's either you're either picking up right away on coffee, and then maybe the lemon like follows slightly after. It's interesting. It's not very bubbly, as you can see, but it's not my favorite though. I'm not a big fan of it. I do like the coffee notes, but I feel like,
does the lemon kind of kill it for you? Like,
no, I mean, I actually feel like the coffee is more the profile color, or I mean profile taste.
Yeah.
And it doesn't taste like a 312 really at all. Okay. I mean, there's a little bit of lemon, but it kind of tastes like a coffee. I don't even want to say lager because it doesn't have that like lager beer taste to it. It's I don't want to rate this so low, but it's kind of bland. I feel like you get the coffee right away and then it goes away and it's a little bland after that. I don't want to be too hard on my favorite brewery, but I'm
We ain't getting that sponsorship.
I'm a little disappointed. It's not their best. It's definitely it's something that I don't think you'll probably find on tap over there in the future. It's not one of those like beers that they'll probably bottle. I think the Tiger King's probably more of a bottle beer, but I mean it's interesting. It's if I'm going like a food pairing, I'm probably going with like a pork chop, some kind of meat, some kind of either a pork chop, or I'm going like a steak. I think a dark meat just because it probably goes well with the coffee taste to it.
And usually typically with coffee, it kind of correlates with a winter beer. Do you kind of see that with this as well, or?
No, not really. It could potentially be a breakfast beer because it is very light. So I think you could whip it up with some eggs and bacon. I think that would go well with it. It's
You only do that on like, rare occasions though. Don't drink every morning.
yeah. I think though, like the other beer though, it's a decent day drinking beer. So I think these two beers are going to be easy to polish off today. They they are very light. If I'm picking a time of year for this, I almost want to say like right now. I don't want to say like spring nor winter, but it's kind of that in between phase.
Yeah.
So March, April. I mean, I think it's a decent time.
It's Chicago spring weather.
Yes, yeah, it's a Chicago spring. That's perfect. When it's still snowing outside in April.
Exactly.
If I'm gonna rate this, like I said, I'm not the biggest fan of it. It's not horrible, but it's not my favorite. I'm going with a 2.17.
Ooh. Ouch.
Sorry, Goose.
Sucks to suck, right?
So I like the Tiger King more. I'm definitely going to polish that off first.
That's fair. I mean, hey, if you got to dump it out, you got to dump it out. It's okay.
Yeah, I'm not going to dump it out.
Awesome. Any last notes on Goose Island or any of their other stuff?
I always love trying new beers, so I'm definitely going to go back to their website. I know there's some other stuff that they have you can still pick up from their place. They brought back their Illinois Imperial IPA from way back when. This is before Joe and I were of drinking age. So that's something I kind of want to check out. Goose brought back a lot of their old beers. They brought back the Honkers Ale as well. So you can still get that for curbside pickup. Highly recommend. Honkers Ale is kind of similar to like is an English that English ale, I guess you want to say.
Might have to go back. Might have to go route of pickups.
Right. So I definitely want to keep doing that. I love when they put out new beers. Maybe these weren't the best, but always love trying their new beers.
Okay. Awesome. Yeah, and Revolution, same deal. Like so long as it isn't something like a porter, which I'm not the biggest fan. Like if they come out with probably our next episode, I'll have 3 more Revolution beers to try. I mean, they make good beer. So,
absolutely
awesome. Speaking of our next show, I don't know when it's going to be, but keep a lookout. At some point, we'll have it.
Absolutely.
But the main event here, we got. So with the NFL draft coming up with this upcoming Thursday, personally, the NFL draft is one of the greatest days of the world. Now, especially during quarantine, this is the only sports I'm getting for the foreseeable future. So I thought it would be fun if Rob and I, we did a little mini draft of essentially maybe like we're building like a flight, but we're building a football team of beers. So we're gonna be taking one beer from a brewery. So, for example, you go.
Are we just doing beers, or if you take that,
You have to take the brewery and then say which beer you're taking. So, for example, if I were to do, let's go to Hopewell, which I did on the last episode, and I'd say, yeah, like Hopewell, but if I'm taking a specific beer, I'm taking the Little Buddy from Hopewell. So just like that, and then give your reasoning for it. You can put it in football terms if you want. I'm going to. So, but Rob, since I'm so gracious,
I'm taking first. All right.
You're snaking. So.
All right. So my first choice, I'm gonna go back to my roots for beer drinking. I'm going with Goose. I'm taking it right off the bat. I could go with the OG 312. However, I'm not going to do that. I'm going with 312 Dry Hop. It's bold.
Okay.
Great flavor.
Not what I would have had you taken, but all right.
Yeah, it's probably my favorite Goose Island beer. It's close. I mean, the OG 312 is very close. Next Coast IPA is very close on there.
I thought you would be taking was Next Coast. So
it's a tough choice. Tough choice.
Okay, awesome. I have the next two picks. I would be remiss if I didn't take it. This isn't the best beer. I think there are a lot of other great ones, but it would be sacrilegious for me. In football terms, this would be like taking your running back. It's highly volatile. Not everybody's going to like it. It may not last you a long time, but you know what? It's going to be a fun time while you're doing it. And I'm taking Revolution Brewing, and hey, there's a whole bunch of hero series that we can take, but we're taking Anti-Hero all damn day. I would never try and not take them. Like I said, they're my favorite brewery. Anti-Hero is my favorite beer of all time. Not a lot of people will agree with that, but I mean, it's like the Cowboys taking Ezekiel Elliott in the first round. Like, hey, you know what? Maybe there were better players. Maybe there was a better position to take. But there's no doubt that Ezekiel Elliott is a great football player. There's no doubt that Anti-Hero is a great beer and will be the face of my franchise. And with my next pick, let me get a quick pour here.
Need a pour break.
A little pour break. Just like the NFL draft, they got it takes about 10 minutes to get the pick in. The pick is in, though. Now, I have a couple picks to wait, so I'm kind of debating on which one I take, but the last show I talked about this beer and said, like, this is the ultimate summer beer. This is the beer that no matter what, you can always drink. It's always there for you in the summertime, in the springtime. Like,
oh no,
the leaves are turning green.
Oh no,
they're turning green when this bad boy is coming out, and this is the middle linebacker of your defense. This is just solid. It's there. It's always there. It's always going to be reliable. It's going to lead your team, and that's Bell's Oberon. Had to take it. I know it wasn't coming back to me if I didn't. So going Bell's Oberon, I just think it's one of the best all-around beers. I think everybody can enjoy it no matter what. So first two picks, Revolution Anti-Hero, Bell's Oberon.
Solid. I am sticking around the Midwest for this choice. It's not too far from us. I think I'm going to make a curbside pickup to it, even though it's out of the state, but it's still relatively close.
I think I know where you're going.
I am going with a beer that I polished off about 4 of these last night. Very delicious. I am going with Three Floyds, and I am going Gumball Head. It's one of my all-time favorite beers. Recently, this is close too, because I love Zombie Dust. Zombie Dust is a very tasty beverage.
Zombie Dust is good, but good Gumball Head goes in that Oberon category where it's like you can drink it anytime, and you're like, this is gret. Yeah, that was. If you didn't pick it, like that was my next pick, hands down. So
it's all reliable. I feel like it's that reliable either tight end or wide receiver that you throw to when the game's on the line. They're going to make the play. I know 312 Dry Hopped maybe is a little bit of a wild card. Maybe that it's your safety or your corner that might get beat deep, but is gonna play zone coverage. Okay, might get beat on man-to-man, but they're gonna play decent zone coverage.
Literature.
So,
Okay, great choice. Gumball Head is one of those, you see it on tap, or if I see it on tap, that's 99.9% of the time I'm gonna get it. Like, it is such a good beer.
most definitely.
And then you have another. You're on the turn here, so you have.
I am on the clock again. So, this is a tough decision because I keep going back and forth, but I do have to go with another personal favorite, and I think Joe's going to hate me for this one. But this is my quarterback here. And this is my all-time favorite Oktoberfest beer when it comes to that time of year. I am going to go with Sam Adams Oktoberfest.
Damn it!
I knew you'd hate me for it. I love that brewery. Went to go visit it in Boston last year. So, an Oktoberfest, I mean, Revo is a close second, but when it comes to Oktoberfest, they're still my favorite.
Man, God damn, I had that in the chamber, and you don't even go with Boston Lager, man.
I know. Well, that's another close one. But I feel like when it comes to Oktoberfest time of year,
Well, I hope
that
he's
is your
more of a
go-to.
Jake Locker than a Patrick Mahomes.
That is your, your commander on the field. So that's my quarterback.
Shit. That was literally good. Like, if you didn't take it, Boston Lager was going to be my boy. Shit. All right. Well, we gotta readjust here. All right, this one's gonna seem weird because, look, yes, we are supposed to be more avancé with our beer choices, and we should probably be taking higher end beers. But if we're talking about old reliables, if we're talking about quarterbacks, if we're talking about someone who I can say, go lead the huddle, you're gonna be my guy. I can turn to you at night when I'm trying to go the distance. And
I know where you're going.
It's old reliable. You see it on tap. You can drink a whole bunch of it. It's going to make that throw for you. It's from Miller Coors. It's great taste, less filling. Miller Lite. You may think like, oh man, this guy is trying to claim himself as a beer connoisseur and he chooses a light beer. But I mean, let me tell you, if you're looking to go, if it's a marathon, if it's truly a marathon, not a sprint, Miller Lite is the way to go. I mean,
100%.
Any ballpark, almost any ballpark should have it. Any sporting event you go to, you can probably get this beer. If you're looking to have a nice fun night, get a 24-pack of Miller Lite. Like, you and 5 of your buddies can drink this all night. Like, it's not going to upset you. It's maybe not a Patrick Mahomes quarterback, but it's an Alex Smith quarterback. They're gonna get you. They can get you to the show. Doesn't matter if they're good or not, or like amazing or not. But it's a solid beer. But yeah, great tasteless filling. On the other side of that, I feel like you get a little pizzazz. So I think this would kind of be like your edge rusher. Hit or miss. Maybe not going to do a whole lot for you. It's not going to be like a Khalil Mack where it's a game changer. It's going to be more of a Bruce Irvin situational guy. But this is my all-time favorite summer beer. Overall, it's my all-time favorite summer beer. But true summer beer with summer in the name. It's Kugel Summer Shandy.
Oh, okay. Alrighty.
Yeah, I think that's another like great sign for like, the weather's going to start turning when you start to see the summer shandies there. You sit on your patio with a couple summer shandies, going to the beach. Like, it's just got that great lemony taste. It's not quite a Mike's Hard Lemonade. You know what I mean? Like, it's not going to be like full lemonade, but I think it's just something that you could easily drink in the summer. You're outside on the patio. sitting outside a restaurant. I think it's another easy drinking, but not everyone's favorite. I know it, but I'm going summer shandy.
Solid choice. They got a lot of good stuff too.
They do, but if I'm going with my tops there, it's summer shandy during the summertime. Obby.
All righty. Some Lineys.
Get some Lineys. All right, Rob. Your final 2 picks.
My final 2 picks. I would be doing myself a disservice if I did not take this Brewery and Beer.
I'd be very surprised if you didn't take it.
This is my middle linebacker. This is my captain of the defense. This is my hunker down on the goal line and makes the big play. This is old reliable. This has been around since the dawn of beer.
Since football and beer was invented.
Yeah, before football, before sports in general, actually. Dates back to the 1700s, I believe. That is Guinness, the Guinness Drought Stout. One of might be my all-time favorite beer. Love it.
Yeah, it's hard to disagree with that. I mean, I'm not the biggest fan, but
no,
when you have like a holiday that it pretty much surrounds you, like that beer, like it's like, yeah, I only drink Guinness during St. Patrick's Day. Like, I mean, it's world famous. Yeah,
and it's I mean, it's very flavorful, very creamy, but it's also crushable. I feel like it's still very light for a stout, and I think that's what makes it so great. Kind of still disappointed we never got to do our Guinness Day, but we'll get to it at some point.
Yeah. That's some, when we're able to leave our homes at some point.
Absolutely. All right. My last pick is another kind of hits home for me as well. I did spend a little bit of time in this state where this beer came from. It was one of the first craft beers I actually ever had. And there are some other beers that I think from this brewery that I think are also very good. It's a very tough choice, but I have to go with this classic, and that is going to be New Glarus Spotted Cow. That's my running back there. I mean, that is all reliable on the goal line, smashing it in for a TD. Joe, we went to pick up a keg of this for my grad party.
Yeah, personally, like, my favorite New Glarus is Moon Man, but Spotted Cow is
fair.
Yeah, but Spotted Cow is like, when you think of Wisconsin, when you tell people you're going to Wisconsin, like, oh, pick me up a 6-pack of Spotted Cow. I mean, it is a I think it's probably more well known to Midwest. Like, if you probably go out west and out east, they probably don't know this beer. But if you're in that kind of Chicago, Minnesota, Indiana, Wisconsin area, like, people are gonna be like, oh, like, yeah, go pick up a case of Spotted Cow. Like, we make runs to Wisconsin specifically so that we can get Spotted Cow. So
yeah. Along with their other beers from New Glarus.
Yeah,
I mean,
like I said, Moon Man, Two Women, a lot of great beers from New Glarus. But yeah, Spotted Cow is like, personally, it's not my favorite, but I mean, it's similar to Sam Adams, where it's like, yeah, they have a lot of great beers, but obviously you're going to know Boston Lager.
Yeah.
Goose Island, obviously you're going to know 312. So, yeah, Spotted Cow is their bread and butter.
Yep.
Okay, awesome.
Last choice.
It's a hard one because there's a lot of good places. There, Founders, I really enjoy All Day IPA. Whenever I see that, I do have to think about getting it. So it's a lot there, Half Acre Daisy Cutter, that is a delicious beer.
Oh yeah.
I really like that one. Lagunitas is another one that has a lot of good beers, but it kind of comes down to, for me, and there's one that, like, I mean, familial wise and kind of personal wise, like that hits home. And there's another one that like is just I've raved about it on the podcast before. Man, this is tough. So I feel like I have to kind of like flip a coin at this point, but I'm gonna go more mainstream. And I don't really necessarily know the full brewery name for it, but like when I'm in Vegas, when I'm anywhere where they're kind of selling this beer, I have to get it because it makes me feel elegant. It's delicious, very tasty. It's not everyone's favorite. It has a bit of a skunky taste. Belgium, it's from Belgium, and that is Stella Artois. My family loves that beer. We have maybe I could position the camera like if you see the in the little edge there. We have like 6 Stella Artois glasses. Like you put it in that glass, you feel fancy, you feel great. I think that was like one of like the first kind of beer. Oh, and Rob's gone. So yes, right there, perfect. Yeah, the glasses. That glass is iconic. Like you see that at a bar, you're like, oh, this shit's gonna be good. I was debating between this and Lizard King because I do really love Lizard King, but
solid choice as well.
But I think if in football terms, if you're looking for that old reliable, for me, if we're going Miller Lite to Stella Artois, into the it's Artois. I don't know what the fuck the last part of it is.
Artois. I think it's Artois.
Artois, whatever.
Yeah. I think
we're from Chicago. It's Stella.
You kind of hard to say.
You just say Stella in Chicago. But I mean, it's just hard. It's hard to go against that. I think that is just. I mean, like growing up, that was kind of like the when I became of age, like that was the beer in my house, and you can call me fancy or whatever, but I mean, it's just a tasty beer. It may not resonate with a lot of people, but it's a solid beer.
I know Miller High Life kind of has the name Champagne of Beers. I don't believe that. I feel like Stella is the Champagne of Beers.
Absolutely.
It has that crispness, just that, I don't know, that soft mouthfeel finish to it. It's so easy drinking. It's so classic. I mean, it's just, you can't go wrong with it.
No, yeah, it's yeah. And anytime I'm in Vegas, like, and my that's probably my dad's favorite beer. Like, whenever we're in Vegas, like we're at the slots, the waitress comes over, like, yeah, let's go 2 Stellas tonight. Like we're gonna keep going. So
it's hard not to like it too. I feel like it's one of those beers that like you take my brother for instance, he's more of a cider person or. God, I hate to say it, but he's a smeared off ice person.
Especially at biker bars.
Yeah, that's another story. But his favorite beer is Stella. He loves Stella. So I mean, it's one of those beers for everyone.
Yeah. Even if you're not really like a big beer drinker, it's just a good beer all around. Yeah, that's like my wide receiver for me, man.
Yeah.
Good old Miller Lite to throw.
That's your Jerry Rice.
That's my Jerry Rice right there. Yeah. So just to recap our picks here. So Rob's squad here in the 5. He's got Goose Island, 312 dry hop, solid choice. 3 Floyds, Gumball Head. These 2 picks killed me here. 3 Floyds, Gumball Head. Sam Adams. Could have been Boston Lager. October.
Could have been Boston Lager.
And then Guinness and New Glare Spotted Cow. And then for me, it was Revolution Anti-Hero, Bell's Oberon, Miller Lite, Summer Shandy, Leinenkugel, and Stella Artois. So pretty fun. Maybe if we do a show before the NFL draft Thursday, which there won't be any show Thursday, I can tell you that. I'm busy. Maybe we'll do another like little 5 round, 2 or 3 rounder of some other beers. But yeah, that's the show. Rob, do you have anything else you want to add? Were there any other beers that maybe you were kind of on the fence about?
Absolutely. I wrote down a list while I was thinking about it. I did have Pipeworks on my list as well. I had it for
Ninja versus Unicorn.
the black IPA, the one that Joe doesn't like.
If you wasted a pick on that,
I did have Bell's on my list. I had Miller Lite on my list as well. Sierra Nevada. I talked about that before. The one I forgot about is Half Acre. I'm kind of mad at myself for that one. And then I did have Lagunitas IPA. That's probably one of my favorite IPAs. A local one, Buckle Down. I also one if you're a Guinness fan, I highly recommend this Irish Stout. It's Breckenridge. Their Nitro Irish Stout. It's really good. It's very similar to Guinness, maybe a little lighter, but they're based in Colorado. That's and they got a lot of different other beers as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to do just a draft of 5 because there are so many good beers out there. Like
So many beers.
I mean, honestly, like a place like Goose Island or Revolution, like you could do a draft of just their beers and it would still be difficult. So, yeah, fun exercise. We'll think of another fun beer exercise or something to do on our next show. But yeah, I keep a lookout for our next show at some point. We'll be doing it.
So I think without further ado, we close out. As always, we invite you to try these beers along with us, do some curbside pickup. As always, support your local breweries.
Support your local breweries. Be responsible when drinking. You shouldn't be going anywhere anyway, so drink at home. Be responsible. Support our people that are working in our hospitality as well. Those people are saving lives out there. So, drink responsibly, and Rob, let's do it.
Cheers.
Cheers, baby.